juniors, and welcome to ACT registration. ACT requires all students to pre-register for the exam, so we will be doing that today. In a moment, you will be receiving your actual ACT test booklet that you'll be using when you take the ACT on March 8th. So it's important that you do not take, damage, or mark in any fashion within the test booklet beyond what the following directions will ask you to do. To ensure that we all do this correctly, please do not move ahead or complete something without the specific directions to do so. You must have a number 2 pencil to complete the pre-registration bubble sheet. This video is set up into segments. Homeroom advisors, you will need to be ready to pause the video as instructed throughout the video to allow for time for students to complete the work involved in each step of the process. At this time, homeroom advisors, please pass out the students' packets, which includes their ACT bubble answer sheets, an ACT letter, and the accompanying ACT booklet to your homeroom students. Advisors, please pause the video at this time until you've completed this step. Now everyone should have your materials, so let's get started. Everyone should have received the materials seen on the screen: an ACT bubble sheet, your Myact booklet, and directions for Myact setup. To start, we're going to begin with your ACT answer bubble packet. Please get that out now. The first step in the process is on your ACT bubble answer packet. Please confirm that the bubble sheet you received has your name and information on a label pasted in this area. If you do not have a label or have someone else's by mistake, please let your homeroom advisor know now. Advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that all students have completed this step. We will begin with box A. Students, please print your name and mailing address information in this box. Advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that all of your students have completed this step. Next, we will be filling in box B. Please make sure to fill in both the boxes at the top as well as the corresponding ovals for each of the letters of your name below. Advisors, please pause the video at this time until all of your students have completed this step. The last remaining box on page 1 will not be completed at this time. Do not sign this at this time. We will complete this line on testing day on March 8th. Students, at this time, please flip over your answer bubble packet to the back side, or page 8. On page 8, the next step is we'll be filling in box C. Please make sure to fill in the top boxes as well as the corresponding bubbles below. Advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that all students have completed this step. Next, students will be filling in boxes D and E. Again, please make sure you fill in both the top boxes as well as the corresponding bubbles below. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that all students have completed this step. Next, students will be filling in boxes F, G, and H. Please make sure you fill in both the top boxes as well as the corresponding bubbles below. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video until all students have completed this step. The final step on the back page will be filling in box I. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm all students have completed this step. Students, now please open up your ACT answer bubble packet to page 2. After opening up your answer booklet to page 2, we will be completing the email address box section. Before completing this, please keep these things in mind. Number 1, while the email address section is optional, if you want to access any ACT information online and/or if you'd like your ACT results quicker, having an entered email address is really important. Secondly, you can determine which email address you want to use. You can certainly use your AASD or school-assigned email address or your own personal email address That's your choice. Whatever email address you select, please make sure that you check it and that you remember which email address you select, as this will be your access point to all ACT information. One advantage of selecting a personal email address is that you will have access to your ACT account and scores beyond high school. Just remember that you will always use that email address for anything related to the ACT, and that you always have access to that account. 3, again, you can select either account you want. Once you've decided, please fill in the boxes, including any potential symbols or punctuations or numbers, and then the corresponding ovals below. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time until all students have completed this step. Finally, on this page, please look at box L. This is optional. It is a place where you can include your high school ID number. This could be used for you in the future if you forget your ACT information. This is a way, along with your name, that ACT can look up your account. It is a backup measure. Again, it's not something you have to do, but something that you can. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm all students have completed this step. All students, please take a moment and go back through your ACT answer bubble packet to confirm that on pages 1, 2, and 8, you have all required boxes and bubbles filled out completely, and also that there are not any markings in any other part of the packet. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that your students have completed this step. Once confirmed, homeroom advisors, we would ask that at this time you go around the room and collect all student ACT answer bubble packets from your students. No student should leave with their packet today. Homeroom advisors, please collect and organize your bubble sheets back into alphabetical order. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time until you have completed this step. For step 2, we'll be using your Myact booklet and the directions letter for Myact setup, as well as your Chromebook. Please get out those materials at this time. The first thing we want to confirm is that at the top of the letter that you see your name, middle initial, last name, date of birth, student code, and your high school's ACT code number. Knowing your own student code number is important to know and remember. We strongly encourage that you either take a picture of this top section with your phone and/or keep this letter for future reference. If you don't see this information or see any errors, please let your homeroom advisor know. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to confirm that all students have completed this step. The letter you received is all about ACT resources on myact.org. Myact.org is a website or a service where ACT houses resources related to ACT testing, future offerings, as well as all of your information and your account with ACT. Ultimately, your results will be housed in this site. It's important for everyone to set up their account, which is what we're going to do now. So why should you set up a myact.org account? Well, one, it's important that your ACT account is connected both on paper and online. Your myact.org is your online account. 2, when the results of the ACT on March 8th are done, ACT will post your results in this portal much sooner than you will get your results via U.S. mail. So having this account established will allow you to get your results sooner. Finally, by setting up your account today, ACT will provide you the opportunity to send your scores to up to 4 colleges or universities free of charge. The deadline to do this for free is March 10th. So if you don't do this now, or don't have it done by March 10th, you will have to pay to have your ACT results released to any colleges or universities you choose in the future. Students, using the letter you have, we'd ask at this time that you get on your Chromebooks and go to www.myact.org. When you get to that website, most of you probably do not have an ACT account previously set up. If that's the case, please follow step B on your letter and the directions that will follow. If you do previously have set up an ACT account, please follow step A on your letter and the directions that follow. Advisors, please pause the video at this time to ensure that all students have completed this step. Pictured on the screen are several prompts that you will experience going through this process. Again, once you go to myact.org, you're going to create your MyACT account if you haven't previously. It will then get you to a prompt that says, I'm new, let's get started. Again, if you don't have an account previously, click that button, and then it's going to ask you for some preliminary information about you for your ACT account, and then is actually going to ask you to verify that you received this message, basically linking the information that you've entered to the ACT account number that you have on your letter. And you can get that verification through a text or by email. They will email or text you a code. You enter that code, and then you've verified your account. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time to allow students to go through these steps. Once you've completed the initial setup, you'll need to complete your student profile within your myact.org account. On the right side of the screen, you're looking for a box that says Enter Student Code. Again, your student code is on the sheet or letter that you received today. Enter that student code number. Then there will be a series of screens you'll go through. Please note, you have to answer the questions that are required. There are other questions they will ask you. You may answer them at this time, or you can do it at a later time. Either way, you need to go through all of the steps in the process until you get to the final verification. So again, homeroom advisors, please pause this video at this time to allow students to go through the process. So hopefully you've made yourself through the questions. Again, the required ones are needing to be answered. The other ones you can answer at a later time. You'll know when you're done when you've reached this screen. You should see your name, your ACT ID number, and a green boxed message at the top that says your student profile is complete. As you'll notice in the middle of that screen or of that page, the answers to your profile questions, whether you answered them now or you will in the future, or if you ever want to change them at any time moving forward, they can be accessed and edited from this page. Please remember, ACT will send your scores up to four colleges or universities for free if you've completed the information in the setup process by March 10th. After that date, if you want your ACT scores sent to any colleges or universities, you'll have to pay for that sharing. Homeroom advisors, please pause the video at this time so you can confirm that all of the students have completed this step. All students should now have successfully completed their answer bubble sheet process, as well as setting up their myact.org ACT accounts, both of which are required elements by the ACT to be done prior to taking the ACT test on March 8th. Thank you. You are successfully registered for the ACT exam. Thank you for going through this process and getting this done. If there's anything else that you need, please let us know. Great job, juniors.